I got stuff for you.
Holy moly. I need to get some snakes and release them around my house.
But they love eating people. They love eating kids.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
Every day that you open your mouth,
I know, right?
I'm more convinced that you're abducted by aliens.
No.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
These are idiots.
I was laughing reading this because I already knew how you would feel.
Idiot. What part of the story fits your balloon?
Well,
This isn't a UFO. But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Well, Mothman.
Oh, yeah, Mothman.
Well, everyone, I think we know exactly what it is. So say it all with me. It was the sandhill crane.
Would you try it?
No.
You wouldn't eat it?
No.
Why?
Because they're probably toxic. There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. Seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree. Welcome back to Cryptids of Corn Podcast. I am the great and sick mystery.
And I'm JClone93.
And I just gotta tell you guys off the rip, I've been sick for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and this last couple days I've been more sick.
They're coming after you.
It's the government. It's 100% the government trying to kill me.
Who else would it be?
But no. So today's gonna be a little bit of a lighter episode, just because I think I'm dying. No, it's just that I'm just really sick,
Right.
so I can't talk as much. And
Well, we're all one day closer to, our ending.
the march of inevitable death.
The what?
I see. I can't even talk. I'm so sick. But no, today's stories, since we're getting ready for our Patreon ice fishing trip, are going to be kind of centered around ice fishing in general.
Ooh.
Some of them I had to make a little bit of a stretch,
Ooh.
but they're going to be ice fishing in general. Before that, if you want to take your kids ice fishing or get your kids outdoors and experience it, check out the Future Anglers of Indian Lake, Ohio. Sign your kids up if you want to donate to support kids and help them buy gear and all kinds of cool stuff. Go to their links below. Newest sponsor on the show. We help do the ice safety trip stuff and all kinds of stuff. They're an awesome group. So check them out.
Yeah, get out there, take your kids, go ice fishing.
Future
Go fishing.
Anglers of Ohio, Indian Lake, Ohio. Check it out. The link's below. I do have a new 5-star review I'm going to read real fast.
Oh, all right. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
Remember,
so-
any 5-star reviews left on Apple or is it the other one? Well, I guess Spotify's kind of.
Spotify's comments. It's different now. I read them and try to reply to them.
Yeah. But anyways, 5-star reviews on Apple we will read.
Yes. All right. This is from. I did not realize what the name was until right now.
Uh-oh.
I read it out loud a little bit. This is from Chris P. Bacon.
Oh, nice.
Chris P. Bacon.
The pig from that news report.
Yazoo, MS Witch is the title. Y'all do a great job with the podcast. I listen to everyone from the Confessional, S.6 Chronicles, Cryptids of Corn. Keep up the great work, boys. I love how you cover the real-life possibilities of misidentified animals or extinct animals. You ask for small-town mysteries or legends. Have you heard of the Witch of Yazoo? First grave I've seen with all the chains all around it. They were kept the witch from escaping her grave. Pretty wild, and I'd love to hear the story behind it. Well, I'm going to add that to my special Hometown Legends thing. My secret thing for that.
There we go.
But yeah, thank you, Chris P. Bacon.
Yes, thank you. Much appreciated.
But yeah, so if anybody didn't know, I love ice fishing. It's just an amazing sport. It's fun. It's one of the few things you can just sit in a lawn chair and do.
Is it a sport or activity?
It's a sport.
I guess.
I
don't think of fishing as a sport.
It 100% is a sport.
I think more of it is living. It's a life skill.
I mean, there's different ways to fish, right?
Well, yeah.
But like football and soccer can be
Right, that's a
lifestyles
sport.
for people.
Ah,
They are, people that football's their whole life.
well, I guess.
But no, technically to be a sport, I think it's got to be. There's rules to like what's a sport and what's not.
Yeah.
And fishing does fall into it.
Well, sure. I know there's fishing can be a sport.
Yeah, I'm not saying all fishing is a sport.
I gotcha.
No matter how you do it.
Yeah, true. All right. We're just, whatever. We're getting in the weeds.
You got in the weeds.
Yeah, I don't know.
So ice fishing stories. So I got everything ghosts to aliens to monsters.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like a hodgepodge episode. A lot of these, there's not a lot to them. I researched really, really hard into some of these. Like this first one, I really, really wanted more to it. There's nothing more than a couple paragraphs.
Let's hear it.
But the ice fisherman's ghost, a Manitowash waters. Now it's Wisconsin, so it's Manitowish or Manitowash.
Okay.
It's spelled wish, but on the ice fishing pages, I've watched videos where they say wash.
Well, it's that
Like pronounce it.
Wisconsin, Minnesota accent.
Yeah. The ghost of the ice fisherman is said to be found on several lakes around Manitowash waters, and it might just help you find some fish. So we have a helpful ghost.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to get there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The person that wrote this, they tend to think of ice fishing as more of drinking beer and being left alone than actually catching something, which it can be. It can be. Depends on the
Right,
day.
yeah.
Depends on the fish.
True.
It really depends on the fish. You can only do so much.
Right. I mean, it also depends on the
The fish got to
days.
show up to play.
Sometimes you just want to get out on the ice and just be away from everybody.
It's nice.
There might not even be a pole in there. You're just pretending.
I've done that.
I'm busy.
But it's not the fisherman, so maybe it's really about sitting in the freezing cold, drilling holes in ice, and hoping you catch something. If it sounds like you're in the Minitowash water area, watch for the ghost of the ice fisherman that'll lead you to a good catch.
Oh.
So the story that is kind of the only place we really have this story recorded anymore is in a book called The Northern Frights. I want it really bad. It's by Dennis Boyer. It's a story who has brought the legends. Like we're going to talk about the next one, the Phantom Snowmobiler, but just to comment some of these ghost stories and spooky stories from the north.
Okay.
So unlike other ghost fishermen, according to the accounts related to Boyer, the ghost fishermen are a dime a dozen up north. There's apparently in this book, there's dozens and dozens of ghost fishermen, but only the ghost ice fisherman is unique in several ways. When other ghost fishermen are usually more of a story, an old duffer, told Boyer, a name, some stories, and sometimes an incident like a drowning, something even a good physical description. But with the ice fisherman ghost, there's nothing like that. No background, just a ghost in a hooded parka that simply makes partial to the story. I feel like I can trust that no one loaded down these things before people later. Basically, what he would do is if you see him, he's found on, let's see, I got the list of lakes. Circle Lily Lake, Dead Pike Lake, Birch Lake, Big Crooked Lake in the Minitowash area.
Okay.
He's apparently, there's some people say he's a headless guy. He's got a hood, like a parka hood.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the hood down, he's headless.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people say basically, if you follow him, he'll kind of like wave at you and lead you. And where he'll start fishing, he wants you to fish there. And you'll do really, really good ice fishing catches. He's been seen for several, about 60 years. Tons and tons of fishermen in the area said they've seen him. They thought it was a buddy or something like that.
Yeah.
They heard the stories, and they follow this guy. And they end up having really good catches, and they look over to see how he's doing.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Wow. I mean, that's
Sorry, guys. I am really sick. I'm like out of breath.
that's very helpful, and you don't hear that an awful too much, but
No, it's ice fishermen. They're good people.
right, yeah. Even the ghosts.
Even the dead ones.
Yeah.
No, and then it's weird. I would really like to go to this area.
I mean, I could see like if you were bound to this world, in
If
the
I got stuck
afterlife,
anywhere, it'd be ice fishing.
yeah, you'd be doing the same thing. So I mean, this
If you got
makes
kids
sense.
or something, I'd be like, all right, there's big fish here. Come on.
yeah, right here.
And put the tip up right there.
Oh,
Move the
man.
pike. I'll just be onto the ice is just scooting the pike closer.
Right, yeah. Wait till you see the ice fisherman
No, like I said,
under the ice.
there's not a ton from this. Like I found a bunch of stories just saying like, yeah, I seen them and we followed them and that kind of stuff.
It's like Jimmy following the magic trail in the water.
He has been associated with divorce rates
Go on.
because apparently when he leads you to a spot, the fishing's so good you never come off the ice.
Oh, okay. It's a joke.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
Uh,
Good
so
one.
s-
Ice fisherman
There
humor.
has been several people that have blamed him for their divorces.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's ice fishing humor.
Yeah.
I take my wife ice fishing.
I'm sure you might have the Phantom Ghost now on a shirt.
Oh, that'd be a good shirt.
That would be, yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. No, because it's like I said, there's not a lot to it. Really, like there's no unlike like Boyer goes into in his book talking about. There's no backstory. There's no dead guy. There's no tragic accident. There's no drowning.
There's no lore.
He was been seen in like the 60s, and he's been friendly to everybody. And the people that have got close enough said I've heard everything from him not having a head, to him having hollow eyes, to him being like transparent underneath the parka. But never any scary thing. He never scares anybody. He never does anything weird like that. He'll wave at you and try to lead you somewhere to go ice fishing. And when he stops and starts fishing or points to the spot, you're supposed to start fishing there. And everybody supposedly has really good luck. Where I've seen on some of the ice pages, people really, really are like, has anybody seen the ice fisherman, this year? They're wanting them, like they use them as like to find fish.
Has there been any, have you found that at all in any of your ice fishing groups?
Yeah, no, people talk about this guy up in the Minnewash area on Facebook.
That's pretty awesome.
But like the stories, I'm going to say, I don't have a lot of stories of like, I talked to him.
No, yeah.
It's always the same thing where, with very tiny details difference.
Right.
Where, I seen a guy, pulling a sled and he was waving at us and we thought it was Tim, we were waiting on our buddy to come out. So we packed up and started following him, fished next to him for a couple hours and you look over and he's not there. There's no hole. Yeah. But where he was sitting.
That's crazy.
So I don't know. I mean, you could say it's everything from most of the time I don't believe in real ghosts, as in human spirits getting stuck here. But like you said, if I got stuck here, this would be where I got stuck.
Right, yeah, you'd be doing this.
Yeah, I'd be doing this. Whether it's that, I've heard everything from now, there's a difference between being stuck here and maybe revisiting.
Right, agreed.
So this may be a guy that's revisiting the areas that he fished for a long time, helping out the community.
Yeah.
I have no proof of this, but it seems to be mostly like a lot of the people with kids.
See them.
Yeah. So he may be just helping families get on to fish or just having fun. He may be an old, I couldn't find anything from the 60s of a legendary ice fisherman that passed away.
Right, yeah.
That's kind of when he started being seen, but he's still being seen to this day.
I wonder if he was seen before too, just so it wasn't as much.
That could be.
Yeah.
It's
a phenomenon that's been around for
and like I said, it's
a while.
7 or 8 lakes he's really seen on, but it's all the Minnewash area.
Right, yeah, it's all.
They think he's a local.
It has to be. That's pretty awesome.
It's a cool story. Like I said, there's not a lot to it, but it's fun.
I would go out and try to find him or try to see him.
This is one of the few ghost, quote unquote, things that I would be excited to do.
Yeah, or you'd be excited to actually see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's just I don't think it's a ghost by what you would call a ghost, I guess.
What if the guy was just so bound and determined to ice fish? I don't know, maybe he just loved it so much after he died, the energy of the love for ice fishing stayed.
That could be.
In its nature. I don't know.
I mean, we talk about, there's all kinds of stories of old men of the north and stuff like that. Or more, I guess, spiritual or supernatural beings.
Yeah.
Good, bad, and different. I've heard the gambit.
Yeah.
And this may just be one of the good ones.
Right, yeah.
We talked about that in the Santa episode. That Santa may have been a flesh and blood human that was so determined to do so much good that he became more of an elemental.
Right, yeah.
That could be something small scale here.
Yeah.
Or,
maybe, I think if you catch so many burbot.
You catch enough burbot.
You turn into one of these guys.
Yeah.
You transmute.
Next one is from the same book. It's the Phantom Snowmobiler of Port End. So a legendary, the Wisconsin Phantom Snowmobiler tells of a ghostly rider with no face who is known to run other riders off the trail and block dangerous paths in the North Woods. So, don't know. I think this once again, same author. Never gone snowmobiling. The closest I've ever gotten to is sitting in the rusty old impractical sled in the woods behind my cousin's garage to ride. But when the dead of winter descends upon Wisconsin, if there are stories to believe, it's the ghosts those accidents left behind, or it may still be lingering. There's tons of snowmobile accidents. My youngest brother, is a super big snowmobiler.
Mm-hmm.
he does about 120 miles to 130 miles a day on some of the trails. And he just got a brand new awesome sled.
Yeah.
Because he enjoys that. I'm an ice fisherman. I don't care for snowmobile on these long trails. He loves that side of it though. And some of the places he goes to, like you can only get to by snowmobile.
That's the coolest
Some of
part
the restaurants and waterfalls he sent me pictures of
are
awesome.
Like, you can't beat that.
I would snowmobile. I hate snowmobile. I would snowmobile for that.
Right,
Just to go to that restaurant and see that kind of stuff. You know, do those kind of things. Because you only get there in the winter.
On snowmobile.
Yeah.
And I've only ever snowmobiled, like, around the house, you know, recreationally, you know, through the like farm fields. That's it. That's the only time I've ever done it. I love it, but I would do the long journeys like he does. That would be really, really fun. I would enjoy it.
So stories from around the area of Woodruff and Manikick tell of a ghostly snowmobiler who rides a clanky old Arctic cat in greasy coveralls and a hat with ear flaps. Anyone who's gotten close enough to see underneath this hat is a vision that startles the discovery that he has no face. Underneath the visor of his helmet, underneath his face mask, is a pool of empty blackness. One version of the story tells that to harken dark back to the Sleepy Hollows, where a rider appears to be headless.
The Headless Horseman.
As frightening as it sounds, it seems the Phantom Snowmobiler is, at least in the most part, a helpful spirit looking out for other riders. Encounters with the Phantom Snowmobiler, like I said, in the book, the 1998 book, Northern Frights, author Dennis Boyer shares a story told him by an old mariner who encountered the Phantom Snowmobiler numerous times over the years. They started out talking about him about 10 years ago, the old mariner said. Back when people saw him running late on Highway J out towards Pickerel Lake, I remember thinking that the taverns were using cheap stuff in the Cobra bottles. I saw funny things once on cheap tequila. But then about 2 years later, I saw him myself. A bunch of us were on Woodruff Road near Hemlock Lake. An old, clanky Arctic cat pulled out of the gravel pit road. Almost wiped me out. It's the most beat-up piece of junk I've ever seen. But when I tried to catch him, he left me eating snow. He must have hit 100 miles per hour when he got on the straightaway on the Highway 47. Then he doubled back on Mid-Lake Road when we made the beer and pea break down the Lake Tomahawk. The others told me it was a ghost. The old mariner gave up trying to catch the Phantom, but it didn't put an end to his encounters. So that's the first time you ever seen it.
Okay.
This old, and I've seen the snowmobiles he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Junk falling off him.
Going
100 miles an hour, couldn't catch him on his nice snowmobile. So I stopped chasing the ghost and he started finding me, he says. Yeah, riding just ahead of me, sometimes alongside of me. This is when I started to get a good look at him. I think I was the only one who spent that much time close to him. Saw him 2 or 3 times a winter for about 5 years. Chased him all the way to McNuggan one time. He ran me off the trail twice, bumped me off a bridge once, and led me into the ice on Markin Lake. He made it across, I didn't. Some reports depict the Phantom similarly as a trickster, like the Ridgway Ghost, who lures unsuspecting riders into woods and cornfields, or just to run them off the trail. Others claim he's there to help. So he runs the gambit. I'll come back around and talk to that one about in a little bit.
Okay.
So the ghostly warning. So here's some of the good stuff he would do.
Okay.
The ghost is said to block the trails for those who went around him found themselves on thin ice, said the old mariner. He tried to run off some drunk punks off the Highway 47 to save them. But one of those fools gave an electric pole a 60-mile-per-hour kiss.
Oh, no.
So I knew he's trying to tell us to tone it down. He explains that the Northwoods gets a lot of visitors from Milwaukee and Chicago who hit the trails in high-performance snowmobiles that have had too much to drink riding through these areas that they don't know and they get hurt. The ideas of the guide wires, private lane cable gates, and barbed wire fences are totally beyond the brain capacity, which are all kill snowmobilers.
Yes. Bad.
They're surprised when they get decapitated or their skulls bashed in. They're shocked when they trespass and cross private land that they end up cracked up in somebody's foundation hole. I think the ghost is trying to stop them. But maybe all those other dead snow jockeys left ghosts that are working against him. We better help him and be the snowmobiler ghost at every intersection for 7 Point Lake. He's like, because so many people die in the area from snowmobiling.
Yeah.
So he thinks even though he runs people off the road and stuff like that.
He thinks it's for a good reason.
Yeah.
To protect them, I guess. I mean, it could go either way.
No, nobody knows.
Right.
I can see it. Like you said, that it could be a trickster thing.
It's kind of what it seems like to me.
But that's only a handful of stories. There are plenty of people who have reported this ghost. And like I said, like the one guy that recounts it, if he's trying to stop you and you keep going, that's when people are having trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the one time he went through a lake on his snowmobile.
Following him.
Yeah, but was he trying to stop him? Like, because he was bumping him on that thing.
Like maybe trying to get him to stop.
Yeah.
Like pull over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Huh. No, I don't know. That's a pretty wild one. The Phantom Snowmobiler. Because, I mean, where does this come from? Unless it's just like an elemental imitating a snowmobile, but then why a crappy one?
Well, it may, same thing where I don't know if you can become an elemental, if an elemental may imprint on you. Because we talk about them, elementals versus the Fae. The elementals, in my opinion, aren't as intelligent as the Fae. Not that they're less powerful.
Yeah.
They're not as intelligent.
Or is it, it's
conscious.
Yes, there you go. Okay.
So they may imprint on people with super strong emotions.
Okay.
So they may take a snapshot of people and become that. So if this was a mechanic that was riding a snowmobile in the area, and maybe he died in a tragic way, or maybe he genuinely tried to stop people from being dumb and dangerous.
Yeah.
If there's an elemental in the area, maybe it snapshotted him. It became him in a way. Where it's that emotion was so strong from that one guy.
Right, yeah.
That's what it held on to. And it could be the same for the ice fisherman.
Yeah, it could be.
This drive to help, this drive to help the next generation, this drive to, maybe his spirit didn't stay, but an elemental screenshotted it, I guess, is a way to do it. And that became how the elemental is. We talked about that with the ghost episode from Chicago, where they made up a ghost.
Yes. Okay. Yep. And in the haunted, what was it?
It wasn't even haunted. It was not
wasn't.
haunted. Yeah, but they made up a ghost.
They claimed it was.
And then the ghost started building its own backstory.
Yeah.
And started getting more stuff and had a whole life that other clairvoyants or whatever you want to say were picking up on the same details that weren't being shared.
Yeah.
So there's something there. Is that an elemental that you gave it
life,
a life, and then it started doing its own thing?
It started growing.
These last two stories could be that, to where they were based off of real people, and an elemental type entity just took over their personalities.
I can see that, or something like that.
Yeah, that's just a thought.
I'm with it,
because I don't think elementals are good, bad, and different. They're things. They're just things.
Yeah.
In a way that we're a thing, but
in the Fae, will imitate.
Oh, the Fae are high tricksters. That could be the other side of this,
right? Yeah, where they are literally just imitating. I don't know, the one guy on the junked up snowmobile.
But he may have been, 50 years ago. It may have been a very known local guy.
Right, exactly.
It was a diehard Arctic Cat guy.
Wasn't letting go.
Yeah, our Australian listeners have no idea what we're talking about.
What, they don't get snow?
No. I mean, maybe some of the Blue Mountains at the tip.
Okay. I don't know. Never been to Australia.
Next one. So we're going to get into a cryptid. Like I said, today's like a hodgepodge. The mugwump.
Mugwump?
Yep.
Okay. Mugwump.
Mugwump. So the mugwump is a lake monster. It has other names, but I like mugwump.
I think it's a pretty solid name.
AKA Old Tessie, or the monster of Lake Timus Aguri, is a lake monster that's been alleged to live in Lake Timusmaguin. Somebody's going to be like,
yeah,
it's in Ontario and Quebec. It's in Canada.
Oh.
The mugwump. I just love the mugwump. This is the Algonquin word for the monster.
Okay.
The exact meaning is unclear, but in 1979, communications on the creature, New Linkscombe Mayor Jake Dent reported that the name translates to fearless or monster sturgeon in English.
Ooh.
That was what he said. There's no actual confirmed
to tie it together to a sturgeon.
Yeah, sturgeon could mean great fish. It could mean water. You know what I mean? That's what one guy said one time.
Okay.
That he said he had it translated.
Okay.
Others no Algonquin don't give it as hard of a meaning.
Okay.
The word has already been in use for many years prior. The Puritan missionary John Eliot took it to mean duke or Curitan, and translating to the Bible in, I can't even say it, one of the Native American languages, the Amishawarian in 1661. The Vermont American newspaper published in Mulberry, Vermont, and stated the monster's name meant leader. So, like I said, nobody knows.
Right, yeah.
Nobody knows. There's a lot of guesswork. In 1880, the term became a political label for the Mugwump, the Republican Party, United States, which switched parties during the 1884 presidential election to support Grover Cleveland. Charles Anderson, the editor of the New York Times, popularized the term in the context, delivering to the Algonquin word Mugwumpian, or Mugwump, meaning important person or war leader. So Mugwump was a good word.
Yeah, positive. War leader.
Though Dana meant it as a sarcastic jab at the former Republicans, because they did not support their own candidates.
Oh, okay.
The term was appropriated by a man who had originally been used at mock and both popular and widespread, the point where it's still being used in the time of 21st century. The term also occurs in 1959 William S. Burns' novel Naked Lunch, in the 1962 Ronald Daly's children's book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the Times described fantastical beast. That was one of the things that was eating the Oompa Loompas was a mugwump.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's pretty fun lore.
It remains unknown which element of the political or culinary history, if any, influenced the name the creature in Dent's documentary, referring a very old Native American legend. Another cryptid dubbed mugwump allegedly resides in the marsh of Vienna, Iowa. That's a whole different thing.
Okay.
But it just happens to be there's another thing spelled exactly the same, mugwump.
But it's a different creature? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't look the same, doesn't act the same. It's just, and there, as far as I know, in Iowa didn't have Algonquins.
There's only so many cryptid names to pull out of a hat.
Mugwump's let's talk about anatomy and description. So why did it make it into the ice fishing episode?
Good question.
Well, when interviewed in 1995, a witness recalled the mugwump as having a rounded head and a nose like an animal. 2 ice fishermen allegedly had seen a black glistening head through their ice fishing hole in 1982. They noted that it had protruding eyes, one of which was trained on them and giving the impression it was the size of a man.
Okay.
So this giant monster had swam up underneath the underside of the ice.
And
it was staring at them through the ice fishing hole.
it didn't pop its head up out?
No, it just pushes its eye against the hole.
Okay.
To see. So they felt like it was easily the size of a man. Another ice fisherman reported that he had seen the creature completely out of the water one winter, when it had a head similar to that of a dinosaur, and it was long enough to curl around a number of fishing huts at once. A married couple who had claimed to have witnessed the mugwump swimming in 1978 reported that it had a humpback with no fins. Chuck Correll, the first human to have his encounter with the mugwump documented and published, claimed the animal looked like a human-sized sturgeon. The creature is purportedly depicted as having the body of a serpent and the head of a big fat horse.
A water horse.
Jack Dent claimed in 1979 the descendant of Chief Wibby, which means Big Wibby or Wobby, was informed him that the creature had lived in Witch Lake. According to Dent's sources, the mugwump was reputed to be the length of an Indian Braves, putting the average length of the Braves is about 5 feet. The mugwump is probably over 20 feet long. 4 Indian Braves.
Okay, that makes more sense.
About 20 feet long. Others have reported the creature's size differently, the more controversial estimates being, about the size of a human. A lot of people say it's about a human. Others put it in its minimum length to 15 feet. Others say, hey, it has scales that were the size of saucers. Others say it had smooth skin. There was the Ottawa River's average depth there is 118 feet, and the lake's average depth is 720 feet.
That's pretty dang deep.
So they think it lives in the bottom of the lake. Only comes up every once in a while to be seen by people.
Oh, my first guess was going to be, this is probably some kind of seal or elephant seal or out of place. But the more and more you go on, it's okay. It's probably not that.
It is probably a lake sturgeon.
You think so? Even though people have seen it out of the water?
The one guy,
yeah,
said he's seen it out of the water. From all the mugwump stories I've seen, nobody's seen it out of the water.
Oh, okay.
They've seen it on the surface. They've seen it. The lake's humongous, and we already talked about that sturgeon, they are curious. So, but there's tons and tons of ice fishermen saying they see these monster black heads with these giant eyes looking up. We've had that happen with sturgeon in
They'll
lakes.
just come up and look.
They're curious.
Yeah.
They're very curious monster fish.
Yeah.
As monsters only in size, not in behavior.
Right.
And like I said, only on one occasion has the animal been spotted outside the water as far as any sightings found. The snake-like appearance, tail, blah, blah, blah.
So that could have been anything in general.
Yeah, the one guy is the only one that ever seen one outside the water.
So yeah,
Every other, including the Native American legends of the mugwump, never said it came out of the water.
it might have been the Lake Iliamna monster he saw.
Which is just another big sturgeon.
Oh yeah.
No, it's just a lot of ice fishermen have seen the mugwump, have a claim that it just, it looks through the eyes. It's never done anything wrong as far as I could find.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Native Americans of the area. The name does not bring any fear to the remaining Native Americans. There's no true Algonquins left, I believe. That's why kind of the translation is a little hard.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's not like this thing was taking their people in numbers, like at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, as far as I can understand, the extent population of mugwumps is also disputed. A lot of them refer to it as a single creature. Several of them have been seen at one time swimming. The creature seems to spawn in July and August, says some people that live in the area, where they see numbers of creatures at the same time.
Okay.
Pretty much just giant black shapes in the water.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't bite boats, doesn't attack kayakers, doesn't, a lot
Just
of ice
existing.
fishermen. So a lot of ice fishermen say that they'll see the whole, like this giant black shape come up underneath the ice and just see the big eye. And the creature will turn and look into the shanties.
Now, are sturgeon black?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lake sturgeon can be very, very dark.
Okay, I just thought it was like a dark gray. I mean,
No, it can be almost like jet black.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they do have color variants, and it seems to be population based. It's more about the water they're living in.
Okay.
They'll match kind of where they live.
Camo.
Yeah. So they're living in deep, deep water. They're going to be more closer to black.
Right. Yeah.
And this is average depth is 700 something feet.
Jeez, that's big.
So
that's deep.
yeah, I think they're
Deep and wide. Deep and wide. There's a lake sturgeon swimming. I don't know.
but yeah, we'll come back with some more ice fishing encounters. But what do you think about the mugwump?
Mugwump. You said this was up in Ontario, Canada.
Mm-hmm. On a lake I cannot pronounce. It has too
yeah.
many vowels for me.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's say we go fishing for it.
It's just a sturgeon.
Let's catch it though.
I think it may be a really big sturgeon.
Yeah. Maybe multiple. Maybe there's a big population here. Giga sturgeon is what they call them.
Giga sturgeon.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll be back after this ad break.
And I'm here interviewing the great Bigfoot. And today, Bigfoot has prepared me a meal. Bigfoot, what did you make for us today? Ooh, fried porcupine on a stick, eh? Oh, grilled, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, it's not. Ooh, this tastes absolutely delicious, Bigfoot. How did you create such a amazing dish? Oh, it's all in the seasoning, you say. Huh? Oh, so what's your secret ingredient? Oh, this right here. Flavors of the forest, Bigfoot breath. Raw garlic dust. Oh, this is raw, straight, freeze-dried garlic? No filler? Wow, this tastes amazing. Oh, you've got, and I'll try that too. What's that you got? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'd never had deer heart, but let's give it a go. Oh, it's a little spicier. What's in this? Spicy raw garlic dust? Wow, also from Flavors of the Forest. Well, where can I find this? Oh, in the links below. So if you're looking to season up your meal today, why don't you go to the links below. Reach out to Flavors of the Forest at flavorsforest.com and get you a bottle of raw garlic dust or spicy raw garlic dust, also known as Bigfoot breath. Talk to you later.
Ah, good old Bigfoot breath. It's been a while since we've heard that one.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's nostalgia. It just takes you back to the beginning of Flavors of the Forest. Amazing product. Highly recommend it. Get it for yourself. Get it for your friends. Sprinkle it on all your food. Garlic dust by Bigfoot Breath Garlic Dust by Flavors of the Forest. You can find it at flavorsforest.com/corn.
So, I only got 2 more stories for you.
Okay.
More monsters.
More monsters. Monsters under the ice.
I did find some UFO ones too, but it was just like, if you didn't see UFO fly over.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Yeah, laid on the ice. Okay.
No, I didn't have any cool. I tried to find, like, break through the ice or, something crazy.
Right, yeah.
There's that one from Sweden Pear told us about.
Which one?
Where one of his buddy that's a UFOologist had the UFO crashed, like a UFO crashed through a lake, an ice fishing lake up there, and they've been trying to get it, but the bottom's like 16 feet of peat mud.
Oh.
So they keep diving down trying to find it, and they keep getting like magnetic readings for where it is,
Yeah.
but they can't get to it.
There's got to be a way.
It's hard because it's mud. It's not, you
Right.
can't swim through it.
No. Yeah, but still.
And the lake's frozen for 6 months out of the year.
Gosh, something like that, though.
He's been working on it for like a decade.
Who is this guy?
I can't remember his name.
Let's help him.
Some Swedish thing.
Let's shine some light on it. Let's get this Vamana out of this lake.
Ice fisherman encounters with a 20-foot tall creature.
Dang.
20 foot's big.
Yeah.
This comes from squatchable.com.
Okay.
A chilling encounter with a something otherworldly in the woods was recently surfaced on YouTube. And this is from the staff there. She says, I couldn't wait to share it with the fellow Bigfoot believers. The video posted on YouTube channel Red Owl features a first-hand account of an ice fisherman with a terrifying experience with the creature. You can only describe it as a Sasquatch-like thing. The fisherman, whose name is Elijah, begins by stating he's not the type of person who believes in conspiracy theories nor monsters in the woods. However, his experience in 2018 changed his mind forever. While ice fishing on a quiet lake, Elijah dozed off and was awakened by something moving on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
At first, he thought it was just his nerves or cabin fever. But then he saw a tall, dark figure moving between the trees on the shoreline. He knew something was very, very wrong. Elijah describes the creature as being way too big and way too fast to be a deer, and its movements were very deliberate and calculated. He was spooked and quickly packed up everything and left. But the image of the creature stayed with him for weeks. Eventually, he returned to the lake, unable to stay away. And this was what led him to his second encounter with the creature.
Ooh.
This time, the Sasquatch was standing between the pines, maybe 20 feet tall, with thick and dark fur covering its whole body. Elijah describes its eyes as being huge, with an intelligent and calculating coldness. And still, his gut would begin to churn. He sat there frozen in his boat, half expecting the creature to move towards him, but it didn't. Instead, it turned and vanished back into the trees with a speed that defies its size. Elijah describes the creature as chilling, and his accounts with no doubt leaving the mind of a genuine Sasquatch sighting. The creature's movement, size, and intelligence all points to something out of this world. So, and you can listen to the whole YouTube. Like I said, it's on Red Owl, the account.
Okay.
Pretty much, the creature was on the ice with him before he woke up.
Huh.
So, I don't know if it was, let's say he was trying to cross and maybe didn't know he was there.
Yeah.
So I've had that happen with a wolf in Burt Lake.
Yeah.
Where we're out in the middle and the wolf was running across and we're like, thought it was somebody's German Shepherd.
But it's Bigfoot we're talking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it knew who was there. It more or less was probably just curious checking him out. And he happened to just wake up at the time. Or it's doing the thing that Bigfoot liked to do, which is watch people.
Yeah.
It might have just been curious watching and he just caught it at the time.
But 20 foot tall, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
a monster.
big for a Bigfoot.
And that, that's it, yes, and it could be that thing though too.
Or people have a problem at judging size due to fear.
Yes.
Your brain, everybody know. It's not saying that we're not calling anybody a liar.
No, yeah.
What happens is, and it's something you cannot control, that the human brain in a fear response will make threats appear to be much larger. So you hear it with rape victims and that kind of stuff, to where their attacker, they'll describe the guy as being much larger than he actually was.
Right, yeah.
Because of the fear
It's so
response of the
scary,
human brain.
yeah.
Because it's a horrible experience.
I
It's
get
a
it.
horrible thing. So the brain will make him monstrous.
Mm-hmm. And being out on the ice, you're vulnerable. Extremely.
You're vulnerable. I'm not.
Well, what do you mean?
I'll get on my belly and slide away.
Oh, I thought you just do a cannonball and just break through. thinking that as an escape. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think we found out I'm pretty good with the ice picks crawling on my stomach.
Yeah, not with a 20-foot tall monster. I think
I go even faster.
With my motivation, I'll be gone. I look like a penguin going past you.
I think it'd be funnier to imagine you just. I'm trying to run away, and you just immediately jump in the air and do a cannonball, bust to the ice, and you hide under it. That would just visually in my head. That's funny. But I like when you tell these stories or accounts and stuff. I always put myself in the shoes.
Yeah.
So I kind of get an idea. What would I do in this situation? But yeah, I'd be freaking scared.
20 foot tall is big.
Yeah, it's just seeing it in the wood line.
Like a normal Bigfoot, if it was really far away, like in the wood line. So I'm thinking, like you said, I put it myself on my lake up in Michigan.
Yeah.
So the wood line's still 150 yards away. You know, so it's not like on you. So let's say it's 8 foot tall. I'd be like, all right, there's a Bigfoot. You know, I'm not going to stay out here after dark, but I'm not going to rush away unless it's doing something.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
If it just is sitting there and it goes back into the woods, I'll be like, all right,
Cool.
that happened, but I'm
Yeah.
not staying out here late.
Right, yeah.
20 foot tall is a different thing.
Yeah.
That's a T-Rex.
Especially if it came out and like onto the ice and you
Yeah.
watched it like coming towards you. Yeah, I couldn't run fast. I'd spin out on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't escape it either. Cause
No, that's the scary part.
That's good ice, though, if a 20 foot tall thing is on it.
Yeah, it's probably about what you think, 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah.
No, it definitely got some thick ice there. What's safe ice? What's safe ice to walk on?
None.
Okay, what's reasonably
No ice is safe.
What's reasonably thick
Most DNRs say for a human 4 inches of clear ice is recommended.
enough? Okay, fair enough. That's what I'm getting at. Just so people know, in case they're out there. and
No
you gotta-
such thing as safe ice. There's
and
no such thing as safe ice.
Oh yeah.
People die all the time. We've lost a lot of people this year.
Oh, that's for sure. There's also, you got to be safe about it too.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, it's nobody's fault. It's just,
Yeah, there's
we've
always
lost
the
a lot of
risk.
people.
Always
Especially-
the risk.
We've lost a lot of kids this year already.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Yeah, you got to be smart. Like, you got to know. There's no such thing as safe ice.
Yeah, I know what you're doing in this
That's
sport.
why I tell everybody there's no such thing as safe ice because it gets you killed when you think it's safe.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunately it's the older community and the youngest community that we lose the most every year ice fishing, and that's due to older people specifically, getting overconfident in their ability to judge ice.
Yeah.
What just happened? You just spit your coffee up.
There was something in my coffee.
It's probably one of the grounds.
No, it's a big chunk of something.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know what that was. I'm not drinking
Was
that
it
anymore.
milk?
No. Maybe a part of a cookie or something. I don't know.
A cookie?
You know what? I know what it is. I dipped a donut in there. Phew. I dipped a donut right when we got it. Oh, that scared me.
You did that.
I did that. Okay, I'll drink it again. That kind of freaked me out for a second.
Here's the stuff we don't edit out, everybody. Podcast is not edited.
Whew. All right, back to ice.
So we lose a lot of people, a lot of the older community, just being overconfident. Last year, or 2 years ago, it was Nick. I had tied to a rope because our lake was not, like the ice was going through one punch. It was like an inch thick.
One punch with the spud bar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there was guys out there in our spot fishing, so I'm like, well, maybe it gets thicker because I knew where we were standing was like a foot deep.
Right.
So ice generally is thickest in the middle, mostly, ish. It's weakest at the shoreline.
Mhm.
But I'm like, if the shoreline's shallow, I know, you fall through, you're just gonna get your foot wet.
Right. No big deal.
Nick went out there right up to the guys, and they're still 1 inch thick, and they have shanties and all kinds of stuff. They never checked anything. That's how people die.
Jeez.
Because it's people been like, I've been doing this for 30 years. I know it's
Right,
safe. I don't
yeah.
need to check. And then they die.
Nah, not good.
My last creature for you
All right.
is the call up illitute.
Where's this one?
It's Alaskan.
Oh.
The call up, I've heard it pronounced. I went online and listened to it. Still can't pronounce it.
Is it spelled funky?
I'll spell it for you if you want.
I-
QALLUPILLUIT.
It's too many for me to follow.
A lot of L's, a lot of O's, and a lot of I's.
I gotta look at it.
I'm going to call it the call, though.
Okay.
QALL. It's an Inuit mythology. This creature is said to live along the Arctic shoreline underneath ice floes. They are said to have steal children who wander too close to the water's edge while fishing or seal hunting. The myth is believed to serve as a purpose to protect children from dangerous environments and keep them from wandering too close to the ice. The appearance, they differ across the tribes. in the Alaskan area in Canada. But the three most commonalities, the quill often described as having green, slimy skin, long hair, and deathly long fingernails. Their hands are said to be webbed like an aquatic creature along with scales and fins. It wears an almanac, which is an Inuit parka worn by women mostly. Some say it has parkas that are made out of elder duck feathers and used to carry its kidnapped children underwater. It is said to have 2 flippers and is able to emit a shrill sound that paralyzes victims. They're also known to have antlers in their appearance. But yeah, there's tons about this creature. Basically, some people, there's another version of it. It's a giant spider that lives underneath the ice. And
Ice spiders?
yeah.
Like your shirt?
No, like just a normal spider with a human.
Right. Well, isn't that your shirt?
Yeah, I am wearing the ice spider.
Yeah.
But that's an actual ice spider. This is a spider human.
Oh. Like Spider-Man.
Not an ice spider. They look very different.
Okay.
Like a spider with a woman on the front.
Oh my gosh.
And they crawl up under and grab kids and pull them down real quick.
Yeah, that's just terrifying.
And like I said, it's ice fishing and seal hunting. A lot of times it brings families out on these ice floes
Yeah.
looking for food.
Well, I wonder if this is like a warning, like to kind of keep kids from, no, I guess wandering out by themselves. Or
I
something.
think that's what most people believe.
Yeah.
Getting too close to the edge, that kind of stuff.
Because you can die so easily.
Alaska, the Inuits live in one of the most unforgiving
Terrains.
environments on
Yeah.
the planet.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or it sucks 6 months out of the year and it sucks the other 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, when
With
it doesn't
the
suck,
largest
it
land
sucks.
carnivore.
Always are on your shoulder
Yeah.
or over your shoulder, yeah.
I think they have the heaviest meat diet of any people on the planet.
I understand why. There's,
Well, there's
no
only
plants.
meat.
Yeah.
There's no meat. There's only meat. There's
Right.
only meat. No, there's plants up there. That's kind of the misconception. They have spring and summer.
Do they have cloudberries?
Probably.
Anyone out there, if you have access to cloudberries, please find a way to send us some.
I was just watching one of the northern shows from Alaska. There's a berry up there that grows like it looks like grass, but it's full of berries.
Is it orange?
I don't know. I look white.
Okay. All right.
Like you gotta be careful eating them. They're really good, but they make you flow.
I gave you the Rias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, that's the problem. It's like, notice how the bears haven't eaten every one of these?
Too much of a good thing.
And it's like, the bears haven't eaten every one of them. Mooseberries.
Mooseberries. Okay.
Mooseberries, I think, is what they called them in the
Interesting.
show.
Okay. Sounds like that's what happens when you eat too much pawpaw fruit.
Yeah, well, I think it's anything with like a lot of potassium.
Oh gosh, yeah, that stuff. I've had that flow.
But no, so these are my ice fishing legends, ghosts and monsters.
Yeah, I mean, I'll recap them real fast. We had the ice fishing parka wearing
the ghost Iceman.
Yeah,
the ghost ice fisherman.
I like him. I like good.
He's a good one.
Good. Then we got the
Phantom Snowmobile.
Which indifferent, could be good, could be.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you
mischievous.
talk to.
I don't think anything bad by him, but I don't think it's necessarily just straight up good, like warning you. But I don't think it's maybe necessarily bad. More trickster.
Good. I think he's good.
I feel more trickster on that one.
The mugwump.
The mugwump, nothing bad, just big old sturgeon, big fish.
Probably a sturgeon.
Just big old fish.
Probably a big sturgeon. The ice fishing Bigfoot.
Oh, I mean,
Nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad
a
happened.
20-foot creature could have killed him.
A cool experience, an awesome experience.
Well, I guess you got to ask him how.
Awesome as in
it made
awe,
him feel.
like awesome, not like awesome, like cool, rad, totally tubular.
Seeing a
like,
T-Rex sized animal where you go ice fishing I probably would never go again.
No, but it's still awesome. Awesome in the sense of awe-inspiring. Like once, yeah, I think it's awesome.
Snowing hard.
Oh yeah.
And then last one was the Quill Up Aluka.
Yeah, the kidnapping.
The Qual. Yeah.
Yeah,
The kidnapping.
ice spider woman.
That's only one version. A lot of them were like mermaid type creatures.
Yeah. Either way, whatever this one might be, if let's say it is real, it probably is like that, like some kind of a siren, mermaid,
I've seen people
ninja.
even compare it to frogmen.
Yeah,
It's a frog woman.
it's the ninja.
Oh, I mean the ninja, which just means a human.
Yeah.
But the ninja that you're talking about, the picture or whatever, it's supposed to be massive and white. I don't know what I think about the ninja. Maybe we'll do a ninja episode.
I know we talked about it a little bit. I mean, I think there's different depictions of it too.
Yeah,
Not
no.
just that white one, but yeah, it's that basically a swimming pale crawler.
Yeah, which I don't think that picture's real at all.
No, I don't think that one is. But there are some weird. There's some weird stuff out there.
There
that's for
used
sure.
to be
There was that one video that's really strange.
a black creature that was kind of ninja described
Hmm.
in Japan. They would talk about them, but they swim in big schools.
Mm.
And when they'd come by, they'd destroy all the fish and everything.
Jeez, that's probably real though.
But yeah, ice fishing.
Yeah.
There's something when you go up to the cold and you go up on the ice and you get up in these areas, it's wonderful and scary at the same time. So when you're ice fishing, I guess it's very surreal. It's a very wonderful feeling, in my opinion.
Mm.
But you also got to understand that the risk of something going wrong horribly is much higher. There's not a lot of wiggle room. There's not a lot of the medium stuff. You're really far away from hospitals. If you go in, it can be deadly in minutes.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have friends, I don't go ice fishing by myself. I never will. The only exception to that would be local lakes that I know I can touch. Like it's 4 feet of water.
Yeah. If you fall in, you're just gonna be up to your chest. You're fine.
Yeah, I can get out.
Yeah.
I can get out myself. I'm confident I can get out, but I still don't want to do that.
Yeah. It's not something to take lightly for sure.
No, it will. It can go
South
deadly fast. And I think the paranormal and the cryptozoological, and I think they follow those same routes. We talk about stuff like the Wendigo and the other Algonquin legends of winter. We haven't had a bad winter in a couple of years, but it can get nasty. People die.
Every year.
I think I left out a story, actually. Maybe I'll have to save it for next time.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I did leave out a story. It's fine. I'll have to add it in maybe next week.
Yeah, I'm sure. Ice fishing season ain't over. That's for sure.
Or do you want me to just tell you it now?
Is it too long?
We're at 50 minutes. We're good.
All right, just tell it.
Because it's a real story.
A little bonus.
Not that these other ones aren't real.
Yeah.
This is a documented story. That
Okay,
happened to a guy.
so a little bonus here.
Yeah. I'm pulling it up.
All right, good. Bonus for all you listeners out
So the
there.
tallest lighthouse in the Great Lakes is the White Shoals Lighthouse in the western end of the Straits of Mackinac.
Mackinac is how you pronounce it.
How do you spell Mackinac?
Well, I know it ends in a C.
Okay.
But it's
I don't
still-
think this is Mackinac because I've seen that spelled a lot. I think this is Mackinac.
Just go on.
There's no L in this word.
Huh?
Mackinac?
Yeah, Mackinac don't have an L.
All right, how do you spell Mackinac?
M-A-C-K-N M-A-C-A.
There's no second M in this.
No, M-A-C-A-N-A-C.
Nope. There's an extra N and I in this one.
M-A-C. I got to see it.
Anyways, the tower was completed
M-A-C-I-N-A-C.
in 1910. It was 121 feet tall. During the winter storm in 1929, a 54-year-old ice fisherman ended up in the White Shoals Lighthouse seeking refuge. Lewis Sweet and a couple of buddies came up from Petoskey area
Oh, I know where
ice
that is.
fishing in the on Woogenstance Point. After each one of them cut a large hole in the ice and set up for their shanties to use for spearing trout that swam past, the prevailing wind blew from the west and keeping the ice on Lake Michigan pushed up against the shoreline. So they're not on a flat ice sheet.
Okay.
They're on a free floating ice sheet, but the wind is pinning it
Okay.
against the shore.
Gotcha.
The man knew that if the wind shifted to the east, it could drive the ice floe away from land. After fishing for most of the day, the ice fisherman noticed the storm off in the distance. The two fishermen Sweet had been fishing with started to head back to shore. Lewis decided he wanted to fish a few more minutes. After trying to spear one more trout, Lewis grabbed a trout and the axe that he used to chop up the hole in the ice and started heading back to shore. Lewis heard a thunderous sound echoing across the ice, and he knew instantly the ice had cracked. He ran as fast as he could through the snow, but when he got to the crack, it was already way, way too wide for him to jump across. He decided to head back towards the shanty as the snow began to fall. It came down so heavy, he was not able to see far, and he could not find his shanty again. He knew he needed protection from the wind, so he built a wall from hard-packed snow and laid down and blocked the wind. He got up every few minutes to move around to keep his body from freezing. He heard another crack and knew the large chunk of ice that was keeping him afloat and keeping him from the freezing water was slowly breaking apart.
Oh, no.
This is how people die this way.
Yeah.
He continued towards what he thought was the center of the ice float to build another snow wall for shelter. He drifted on a dredging hunk of ice through the night. And by the next morning, the ice had drifted the ice had drifted into the 20-story tall White Shoals Lighthouse. The ladder used the keepers to climb the 20-foot cribbing was covered in a thick coating of ice. Sweet used his axe to chop through the thick ice as he had coated up the ladder. He spent hours and hours chopping, only to reveal that half the ladder he had gotten the idea that he stuck up a chunk of ice had broken up when the flow slammed into the lighthouse. He finally made it to the base of the tower. The door was unlocked, and he took refuge from the relative safety in the ice house. Inside the lighthouse, Lewis found kerosene in a heater, along with food he could eat.
Nice.
He managed to get warmed up. His feet and hands were blistered and frostbite riddled. He could hear an airplane flying overhead, but by the time he was able to climb up the stairs on his injured, broken feet to signal the plane, it had already flown out of sight.
Oh, man.
He had enough rations in the lighthouse to keep him alive for over a month, but he knew he needed to seek medical attention because his feet were actively frostbitten and bleeding. After a few days, the Lake Michigan had once again froze over. He was not sure if he could make the trek back to shore, but Sweet took a chance anyways. He grabbed his rations for the trip, which included a can of condensed milk. He used the rope to lower himself down onto the frozen ice. Remember, it's a 20-foot drop.
Yeah.
His feet and hands are broken and frostbitten.
Mm-hmm.
It was rotting flesh.
Right, yep.
In agony, he trekked across the ice back to land. He had managed to hike 20 miles when he made landfall in Cross Village, and he found an old hunting cabin. He built a fire in the stove and found some leftover coffee and brewed himself a cup when he poured some of the condensed milk in. After drinking the coffee, he lay down to rest. He woke up in terrible pains in his stomach and wondered if the condensed milk had gone bad. He spent the next day recuperating from whatever ailed him, finally healthy enough to go seek for civilization. He hiked through the snow towards Cross Village, where some Native American girls spotted him stumbling out of the forest. Scared, the girls quickly ran home. Some finally came to get him. Lewis Sweet, he had taken by dog sled to the nearby town of Livington, where he was driven by a car to a hospital in Petoskey. All of his toes were amputated, and most of his fingers were as well. He was in the hospital for 10 weeks, limited by what he could do for work. His story was published, and the book was proceeds to go to support him and his family. And you can buy the book about his whole ordeal.
Jeez.
So that's to show you the dangers of this.
The cold.
The cold. I mean, he was so cold.
It's cold listening to that.
I mean, it was horrible. It was.
Yeah.
I've had my hair freeze off,
Yeah.
and people underestimate
How cold.
the cold.
Yeah. And how quickly you can succumb
Like you
to
lay
it.
down on wet ice and you will die. You will die in 12 hours.
Unless you're a manly man, then you usually live.
No, because somebody had to take you within 3 hours to get warm.
Oh, well. Manly men do that too.
No, they don't.
Yeah, sure.
don't lay down
do.
on ice.
Yeah, they do. That's what real men do.
Dumb men.
Nah.
After
you have to push.
the other man begs him for
You gotta-
10 minutes not to lay down on the wet ice.
Sometimes you got to push your body a little bit, push those limits. It makes you stronger. You break yourself down to build yourself up back better.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Hodgepodge is cryptids and mysteries around the ice, and then
ice,
a true story of what can happen in these extreme conditions.
Right. Oh, and it was Mackinac. I looked it up.
Is that how you spell Mackinac?
Ain't it weird? It's like those weird, it's like a
It's Native American word.
Yeah, exactly.
That they try to put in English.
Right. So, we got that here in Ohio. So, but yeah. Because I always called it Mackinac growing up. So right when you said that, I knew exactly what you're talking about.
All right. I have been the great and powerful mystery.
And I've been JClone93.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to Cryptids of the Corn podcast. Remember, the best way to support the show is share it with a friend. But if you are craving more of the J clones
And more from Mr. E.
there's always extra content on Patreon.
And our paid member space on cryptidsofthecorn.com.
We'll catch you next time with more exciting, fun, and informative information. Bye.